How's it? Cause it's time to walaau with me, Mr. Walaau19. Join us as we meet your uncles, your aunties, your brothers, your sisters, your brothers, sisters, uncles, cousins, neighbors, grandmother, all the ohana. We'll take you to breathtaking places you've never been. Meet famous people you've never seen. Kick back and cruise, you know the rules.
The day has to end. I'm so happy we made new friends. We'll meet tomorrow, same time, same place. Looking forward to see your smiling face. Voila, the day has to end. I'm so happy we made new friends. We'll meet tomorrow, same time, same place. Looking forward to see your smiling face. Voila, 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 voila.
Aloha Kauai, mahalo nui loa, and thank you for joining us this week in yet another exciting and informative episode of Walaau. I'm Dickie Chang. Today we're going to be telling you about the rapidly soon happening, the 11th anniversary for the Kauai Marathon. Oh well, way back when, 2008, the first marathon. This is going to be the 11th year. Here to give us a little bit about the history and to tell you folks exactly what's going to be happening at this year's 11th annual marathon. Here are the founders, Liz and Jeff Zucchini.
I don't know if I was thinking that clearly, but 12 years ago or so, I was on a run and came up with an idea to try to, to create something so that the local community could have a professional running event and enjoy the running scenery and the beauty as I've been running on this island for many, many years. And I questioned why we didn't have an event on Kauai that was professionally run, that folks didn't have to get on a plane and actually go to Oahu or the mainland. But what spurned it really was, the beauty. I've been a runner on this island since the mid-'90s, and I still think it's one of the prettiest places to go out and go for a run.
Just as a little clarification, yourself and your lovely wife, Liz, that's been here and is with us, you are a part-time resident on the island of Kauai. You're a businessman on the island of Kauai itself. But how difficult was it to convey what you were thinking about, and how difficult was it to kick off the first year, which is 2008, hence the 10-year anniversary?
Yeah, it was really difficult. I mean, I don't blame folks. There are a lot of people that come on island that have ulterior motives or have done bad things in the past. And I felt that I needed to proceed with caution. I needed to surround myself with a team of people that understood my vision and understood that my intentions were pure. And I wanted to do this for the people of Kauai and, for the folks that wanted to run. But it was very difficult. But with many help, including yourself, we put a team of people together back in '07 with the late Mayor Brian Baptiste and, with some county folks with Beth Tokioka and George Costa, and of course Bernard and a lot of the city council. We came up with what I thought was a really good plan. We concocted that in '08 and, of course, launched our first event in 2009.
Behind every successful man, obviously, there is a very quiet, supportive woman in the background, and we are with your best friend and pal over 30 years, your lovely wife, Liz. When he first told you, honey, what do you think about a Kauai Marathon, or what were you thinking about when he came up with that concept?
I wasn't surprised. I just sort of went along for the ride at first, I would have to say. And that includes meetings back in California, putting a team together, Jeff reaching out here. So for the first year, really, I was definitely behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And then once we pulled off the
checks, you saw the checks being written, and I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, well, I just trusted him. Once we got the first event off, then it was natural. It was just like, this is cool, this is working. I can't believe we did this.
Yeah, by the way, just want to get a little clarification. When you said, when you saw the checks, it wasn't checks coming in. It was checks from the Zucchini family, like,
Yes.
I believe in this, and we're going to plant the seed.
Yeah, I mean, we spent a sizable amount of money investing in this, and that's kind of my persona is when I get behind something, I'm passionate about something, I kind of put my money where my mouth is. And we did that with this event. The first year, we contributed significant investment to get this off the ground.
And significant investment, having the love for Kauai and its people, because this is going to be like chicken skin, for the 10-year anniversary. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, the numbers may be up 15, 16, 17%.
Correct.
And as everybody knows, Kauai style, which of course the marathon, the 10th annual, is this coming Sunday.
Yes.
there's going to be more and more people that's just going to say, you know what, if it's a 10-year anniversary, I'm going to chance them. I'm going to be a part of this event.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons we've been, that we have, the numbers are up about 15%. We hope to have about 2,300 or so. Hopefully the weather system that fortunately dodged our lovely island, we won't have a lot of cancellations. But yeah, we're expecting big crowds. We're going to do some surprises on the course to celebrate our 10-year this year and do some really fun things.
And I don't think cancellation is on anybody's agenda, because those that have ran, we've been blessed with rain showers right at the beginning. We've been blessed one way or another as far as the humidity is concerned. We've been blessed in glorious mornings.
Yes.
But the people that are running this race, Kauai, we even get stoked when we look at how beautiful the day is. But can you imagine people from the 13, 14, 15 different countries, the 46, 47, 48 states that's representing, what they're looking at and just tripping out like, whoa, this is pretty cool.
A lot of people that are a lot more, exposed and experienced in putting on running events around the world have said this is the prettiest road race in the world. And there's good reason for that. We have the perfect backdrop. We're very blessed to have the route that we have and the beauty that we have. And when people are out there going up that first mile or two up the bypass, it's pretty spectacular.
And Liz Zucchini, you were making mention that you have been behind the scenes and you wanted to be behind the scenes because you wanted to figure out what exactly was going on. But I do want to just say this. You have friends, not just on Kauai, but you have friends that come and they pay their own way. They stay on their own dime at a hotel, your house, or what have you. But it must just be so honorable that people will come and follow you folks just as deep friends. But these people have been so exemplary and complimentary about wanting to make this happen. And they've become friends with not just the local people, but the visitors that come every year. I mean, talk about camaraderie.
Yeah, I think that's been one of the things that we've taken away from it is the community that it's built and the selflessness. And even when we've had problems and we've had to really double down and dig in and say, we got to figure this out, everybody does it with joy. There's no complaints ever. And there's so much admiration for the runners that all of our volunteers seem to walk away just feeling like they were so lucky to get to work on the event. I mean, it's just crazy. It's so cool.
And we've assembled a team, frankly, that, we have a good friend who is very high up with NBC. And he came and, he's participated in events literally around the world. And he said, Jeff, I can't believe the caliber and the talent of people that you've assembled that are doctors and lawyers and, every facet of what their professional careers are. But everybody comes together here. It doesn't matter what you do or, what your background is. Everybody's willing to clean porta potties out. Everybody's willing to carry food. Everybody's willing to do whatever it takes to make sure we put on the world-class event that we want to put on.
And that's the point that I'm making. It's a very well-oiled machine because people kind of know what they got to. If I'm the moped, I'm on the moped. If I'm the porta potty, I'm the porta potty. If I'm the food people, or if I need to cut papayas, or I need to get the orange juice, or I need to provide more water.
Yes.
But the route is so incredibly different. With Aloha, when you get taiko drummers, you got hula dancers. I mean, for these people that coming through, it's like a whole movie that nobody even expects when they're running a race.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't know. The first couple years setting up the starting line, nobody gave me any instruction really, other than we need all this food and all these drinks. Everything has to be ready to go. And we're at a point now where if I didn't show up, our crew who comes in from the mainland, they could do it without me. And it's really cool to watch that happen because they're just, it's a natural flow to it that's so easy.
Dickie, one of the things I would say is that one of the things I can regress the last 10 years and say, what am I proud of? And there are many, many, many things I'm very proud of. One of the many that I'm proud of is that there are folks that actually have taken ownership of this event. I have to give Bob Craver, who's our race director extraordinaire, who's been involved with the event from day one. Robin Jumper also been involved from day one, and they've taken ownership of this event. But it goes beyond Liz and I and Bob and Robin. It's the community that's embraced this event, and they've taken it and said, we love it. They put signs and cookies and, their own thing along the course. But even our volunteers coming on island, they have embraced this event and, taken it upon themselves to not ever miss it. Most folks have been here 10 years in a row, and they take ownership. They're very vested in it. And the other thing equal to that in terms of vesting is I sense a lot of our sponsors. We've had amazing sponsors from day one. Grand Hyatt Kauai, Kauai Coffee. These folks have stepped in year after year after year to make sure they help financially support this event. And frankly, without their contribution, it would be very difficult to put this event on financially.
Dickie, I must say we couldn't have asked for a better event, not only from the standpoint of participants, a lot more people than had been expected. I understand the latest numbers are well over 1,700 runners and walkers. As far as economic stimulus for the island, fantastic. We're still, it's preliminary. We still need to run some numbers through this week, but I would think the benefit to Kauai is probably in the hundreds of thousands, if not a few $1 million benefit to our island. I had the benefit of walking the half marathon with the mayor, and along the way got to talk to a lot of people from Germany, from Japan. I believe this one lady was from Spain, talking to a lot of people from different states on the mainland. And there's quite a few that follow marathons that made it a point to come and be a part of this inaugural event. But there were others that just wanted to plan their vacation around running a marathon. They may have done one or two in the past, but to combine a vacation with getting involved with a marathon was their goal. And we certainly appreciate everyone coming over and participating and taking part of this event.
I think what's important to note that the people didn't just come up to run the marathon. They came 3 or 4 days prior to the actual marathon, and they're staying hopefully 3 or 4 days thereafter.
That's correct. I got to meet several families that this one lady, she grew up here on Kauai many years ago, moved to the mainland, and made it a point to bring her family back to show her children where she grew up, and she participated in the event. And then there are other families that have been here for the last 3, 4, 5 days. They're going to be here for another 3 or 4, 5 days and go back home. So again, it was a really good turnout. The other thing that really pleased me was the fact that as we were going along the route, a lot of our island residents along Omao Road, up on Waha Road, Lauoho Road, pitched tents in their front yards, had their garden hoses out to spray the runners, cheered us on, had snacks and had signs out to cheer everybody on. So, it was a total involvement from everybody here on the island.
And it's truly the local spirit because, who knows how the event would have been accepted, but a lot of people did it on their own. And I could just see, Sunday brunches will be like something very, very huge, especially when you get to see the runners running past your house and then running back the other side.
Absolutely. And again, I had mentioned there are families that had set up tents in their front lawn, and obviously they were out there from the beginning and cheered on the professional marathon runners that came through early. And I participated with our mayor, Bernard P. Carvalho Jr., and we came up, we were walking, so we came up towards the end there. But to see people that had been out from 6 o'clock in the morning, we came through about 9:30, and from what I understand, we still have a few more runners coming in that did the full marathon all the way up to Kukeolona Park that are still arriving, and it's almost 1 o'clock. So what a great event. And I just want to comment, as we were walking down Kamuli Highway, and I know our folks out there that had to use caution and patience, and we really appreciate that. I heard the traffic was backed up somewhat, but those that passed us along the highway tooted their horns and cheered us on. So again, even though traffic was delayed a little, they still had the aloha spirit, and it was really nice to see.
What's really also nice to see and echo is the fact that those that participated, and many people have already commented that they're already planning their trips and they will return with their friends. And this is going to be one incredible, cool signature event on the island of Kauai.
Absolutely. You know, we really missed the PGA Grand Slam, but I honestly feel that the Kauai Marathon will become our signature event and for years to come. And we certainly look forward to our runners and their families and friends coming back and visiting, and more participation from Kauai's residents. I honestly feel that.
Aloha, I'm Barbara Bennett, owner and publisher of the Island's monthly community magazine, For Kauai. Available at newsstands, mailed to you by request, or at the Honolulu and Lihue airports. I invite you to join our local residents and read our stories. All local, all community, all Kauai. Read For Kauai magazine on our website, forkauaionline.com, with more feature stories, videos, daily calendar, and local news that will excite and interest you. Visit us daily, weekly on the web, and monthly in print. Mahalo and aloha.
Captain Andy's sailing. Nobody has more fun. Captain Andy's, the ultimate sailing adventure.
If you just joined us, I'm with Liz and Jeff Zucchini, the founders, really, and the brain trust of this Kauai Marathon. I just want to let you know, this is not, correct me if I'm wrong, a moneymaker. I mean, if you break even, hallelujah, let's do some jumping jacks and some somersaults, because that's not what it's all about. It's about putting on a good event. And what I would like to just say is, you know, we get this Get Fit Kauai, or this physical fitness, something that I chatted with you a little bit earlier. Mm-hmm. We know the world-class runners. We know who's the big people coming in, and the males, the females, the winners of the categories. But we got people under 12 years old running. We have a few over 70, some quite frankly into their 80s, running the half a marathon. It's not about where you place. It's about finishing the race, which is...
Absolutely. Let me, if I could regress to address your first point. The Kauai Marathon, when Liz and I founded this event, it was founded as a 501c3. So legally, any profit that we make, we have to get back to Kauai. And I'm proud to say, not a lot of people know this event is a Hawaiian nonprofit. And as running a Hawaiian nonprofit and owning that, we have a legal and a fiduciary responsibility to make certain that we're running this event as if it were for profit. So we have to watch expenses. We have to, do everything we can to rally the financial support of sponsors to make this event. But what little's left over after paying all the bills, we like to be able to write big checks to charity, and we've done so. And I think we've generated about $150,000 in charity the last 9 years.
And I hate to bring this quote unquote sore subject up, Liz. Remember when Jeff Zucchini said, if you can find 13 sponsors that will pay $1,000 as a mile marker, $1,000, I will match it. So in other words, we got the $13,000. He had to put the $13,000. But if I'm not mistaken, remember we gave money back to the YWCA, the YMCA, suicide prevention.
Hawaii Police Athletic League, bridges.
Life's
Bridges. Yeah. We did a lifeguard thing with the with Dr.
Monty
Downs, yes. So we did that, and we were happy to support that. And I think through the years we've chosen between 8 and 10 charities that we decided to invest in, and we're happy to do it. I thought it was absolutely fabulous. It came like a lot of things do when I'm running, and I thought it was a great idea. I thought, one, it was a good way to bring community support to the event. And two, it was a great way to do what we wanted to do from the start, and that's to give back and to support charities. So we just finished this morning writing 5 relatively large checks. We supported the YMCA and their pool effort. We supported KPAL, the Kauai Police Activities League, and all the things that they do for the youth on island. We supported Life's Bridges, which does a lot of things, in traumatic times here on island. We support, of course, the Kauai Museum and everything that they're doing. And I got to tell you, if you haven't been to that museum, it blew my mind over the last year, walking in there and seeing the artifacts, some of the things that, from a historical perspective, unbelievable. I'm a huge supporter of the Kauai Museum. Also, we supported the lifeguards, everything happening here and the support and the awareness of water safety. We also supported Kauai Hospice and all the things that they do for end-of-life care. I couldn't say enough great about the hospice organization.
And again, I just do want to thank you not only for thinking about the idea, but giving back your own resources and your own monies itself. But I think it was a very pleasant surprise, because a lot of not-for-profits don't expect someone to be aware of their plight. But I just do want to share this, if I may. Your wife Liz and yourself are actually part-time residents of the island of Kauai, and I really want to thank you for being aware of the challenges that every not-for-profit goes through in these tough economic times.
Absolutely. I mean, funding, everybody needs funding today, and that's why I'm happy to be able to create a forum and a mechanism to be able to raise continuously, year after year, funding for charities that so desperately need money. But you're absolutely right, Dickie. It's hard to keep a lot of these organizations that rely on $25 and $30 contributions, because it's real expensive. I learned today, for example, being in the YMCA pool. He took me back and showed me everything that they do to keep the clarity of that water perfect, so that, one, they have safe water, but two, it's clear water so people can come and swim and do all their, the activities. It's very expensive.
And as far as the swimming team, Swim Kauai Aquatics, since the pools opened and they began swimming here, that's when all the records have broken. All the records on Kauai and all the swim records. It's because you need a facility. You have to have the venue to be able to produce quality athletes. And it's the same thing. You need to be able to maintain the venue to be able to teach kids to swim and to maintain that water safety for the island. It starts with a place like this, and then it's the people after that.
Well, first of all, it was a very pleasant surprise, and we are so grateful that the Kauai Marathon is really not just bringing people together for a wonderful event, but giving back to the community. And we're humbled and we're grateful that they thought of Life's Bridges and appreciate the work that we do. So yes, we're very grateful.
Gina, when we do this, honestly and sincerely, I just want to take this opportunity to share our aloha out to, Robin Jumper, Bob Craver, of course, our founder of the marathon, who's a part-time Kauai resident, Jeff Zucchini, because being that he does spend so much time on and off the island, I just want to say aloha, because he's obviously aware of, everybody in need. However, those that really step forward with not much of a fanfare.
I totally agree. I mean, it's just so wonderful that these people come together, and as I said, they're giving back to something to the community, not just for our runners and people that love marathon and really putting Kauai on the map, but they're recognizing the efforts of all of the community agencies that benefited, and so it's a win-win situation. So we're grateful and we're humbled, and we're really grateful to all of those folks that put this together and give back to us.
Well, we're very appreciative of the people that made it happen, and I'll be honest with you, with donations comes a very great sense of responsibility on my part to make you proud that you donated to us, to make the marathon proud that they donated us, and therefore for us to do a really good job with it. So we're really happy about it. We have ways we already know how we're going to spend it, and this allows us to keep improving our programs.
Well, I can't tell you how thrilled we are and how much we all need the money, all nonprofits on Kauai. And with the museum, we're trying to do so much to pep up the place and make the displays and our exhibits more meaningful, and certainly move our Hawaiian collection up front to the main building. And this will certainly help for that. I thank Jeff and the Kauai Marathon for being so generous to the community. It's really meaningful to everyone.
The museum recently has had its plights simply because of the fact, unfortunately, there's a lot of construction and road work going on, so it had to equally be difficult for visitors to not just find parking, but to take and have patience of trying to get to be able to park and visit the museum.
Yes, we've lost a lot of admission money because people get disgusted. They drive around, they can't find a parking place, and you're right, the place all around there is being redesigned, and there is no parking, and so the county's trying to work with us. Nevertheless, it's very difficult to find because the signage is poor. So this will really help us tide us over this month. So we really thank Jeff and the Kauai Marathon.
Well, it's a very pleasant surprise, totally unexpected. Anytime you get money to help with our programs, it's a tremendous blessing. I know our administration always supports the Kauai Marathon, by security and traffic control. But to receive funding for our nonprofit version with the KPAL, the Kauai Police Activities League, is just an exciting surprise and a blessing.
Dee, this is an amazing surprise. We had no idea, and we're feeling so grateful over at Kauai Hospice for the gratitude of this financial contribution from the marathon, and we're just feeling very surprised and happy and grateful, and thank you. It's what it's about. It's community, and it's about people helping people, supporting each other, and we're grateful at Hospice because this money that has come in will help us provide these vital end-of-life services and care for people who want to stay at home at the end of their lives, be surrounded by the people that they love, and as well as once they have died, so their family can have the support for bereavement and grief support. And so when we have surprises like this that come out of sort of the clear blue sky, where it's a validation of community support saying, you know what, we're thinking about you, and not just you, but our sister and brother agencies, other nonprofits that are sharing in this unexpected blessing.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Carano. I'm a sales and leasing rep with King Auto Center. We have an extensive inventory of new and used vehicles from Hondas and Rams to Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas. Let me help you find the vehicle that best suits your family and your needs. Call me at 245-4788 and ask for Vanessa Carano. Again, that's 245-4788 Vanessa Carano. Hope to see you soon.
Healthier is quality care close to home. Healthier is state-of-the-art facilities and the largest and best team of doctors on Kauai. It's specialty care and caring in a special way. Healthier is Kauai's only comprehensive bone and joint center, with expertise in joint replacement, hands, feet, ankles, and sports medicine. Wilcox Health, creating a healthier Hawaii.
Aloha Kauai, if you just joined us, we are talking about our 11th annual Kauai Marathon. The early beginnings, the roots, it is scheduled for this coming, next Sunday, September 1st, and that's going to start off in Poipu. Here's some of the beautiful history about the marathon. Check this out. Mahalo, enjoy. We'll see you at the start line. This goes on and on and on. And when I think about the memories, I'm glad that I got involved right at the get-go, humbly. But I remember when we were at the awards banquet and we would see these military men and women with 40, 50, 60, 100-pound backpacks with the American flag running as a troop, crossing the finish line. And when we would talk story with them, thank you for coming, thank you for coming, thank you for coming. Will we see you next year? And I remember I had like a flood of tears in my eyes when they would say, I'm sorry, but we have a call of duty to Afghanistan. Right. And we're going to be scheduled to be there for 3 years. And it was just like total admiration, but sadness that we may or may not ever see them again.
Yeah, I have goosebumps talking about the military. They were, and we don't get the group that we used to. Was it a funding issue? National Guard. We've missed them because they inspired and literally they would pick up the race packets and give us their story, and we would all just have goosebumps. And some of them even had personal stories. We had three brothers who were all in the National Guard. They came to get their race packets, and this was about 5 years ago. And they told us the story about their baby sister, who was at 4 years old, passed away from leukemia or lymphoma. And they were all three there racing in her memory. And everybody just broke down, and everybody was at the everybody dropped what they were doing the day of the race as they were coming through the finish line, all our volunteers. And they still talk about it to this day. That they just can't believe.
One of the things, too, I would allude to, I didn't finish the second part of your question earlier, I apologize. But one of the things that has my wife and I so excited, and because there's so much ownership with the local community and the folks that come in to help us put it on, is there have been, and I'm not exaggerating when I say hundreds of stories that can bring tears to your eyes. Mm-hmm. I tell everybody this, it's not easy for me to cry, but this week, every year, I've shed a tear through this event, either through a story or a weight loss or a death or some tragedy that motivates. I tell people running is the best motivation in terms of getting people to move. And there's always stories. And I really give a shout out to Bill Bewley at the Garden Island, because he, for the last 6 or 7 days, has articulated a story in the newspaper. And it's just one of many. I interact with a lot of folks at the expo and at the finish line, at the start line. And if I could tell you, I should really chronicle it in some kind of a document that would articulate the story and the motivation behind why people come and run. It is touching, to say the least, and overwhelmingly emotional for all of us to put it on.
Do you remember the first year when we had that woman who had trained all year to do this and then got injured? So she showed up with her crutches, and she did it on crutches, and our whole group of probably 40 of us ran down to the finish line at 7 o'clock at night to come in with her on crutches.
13 hours later, she came in, and she was bloody from her elbow to the side of her hip because she did 26.2 miles on crutches.
And by the way, what I would like to just say, if I can recall, the medical van, you need help, you need help, you need help. And correct me if I'm wrong, she says, no, I'm going to do this on my own. Right. And I remember being there, at the finish line of Ho'onani, right at the beautiful ocean. And this Wahine crossed the finish line, and we were just...
It was spectacular. I mean, it was so emotional. I think there wasn't a clear-eyed person. We came down. It was 13 hours after it started. We closed the course because we're required to with the police and the permits after 8 hours. We reassembled the finish line for her to come in that year, and that was year one.
And we've been up since 2:30 in the morning. Yeah. All of our group had been.
Yeah, but when the adrenaline is going, it's not about the rest is on the way back from the plane and when you get back.
Exactly.
But one of the things that I would like to say, first of all, I wanted to say thank you for mentioning Bob Craver, because he's done an incredible job, well organized, very well liked.
Very much.
Robin Jumper that controls the books, because you can't do this, you can't do that. There's bills that need to be paid. But Bill Bewley, as a runner himself, he can document, he can write, and he can talk about the journey, because he's talking the talk. Been there, done that, and he does it. And by the way, this ain't an easy course.
No, it's one of the more difficult. I mean, the half is probably considered a moderately difficult half marathon by marathon standards. But I would say the full might be one of the toughest road race marathons in the world.
And it's very interesting that you say that, because remember in the old days when we had the elite Nigerians or Kenyans, and like when you came up with that idea, anybody can do this under 2 hours and 30 minutes. Challenge. Yeah, you got 15 grand or whatever it is, and everybody thought that they were like happening. But once you took that right turn up through Lawai and Kalaheo,
they didn't know what was coming. Yeah, I remember a couple of Kenyans came in, and they had flown in the day before, and neither one of them made it. We had to actually administer hydration and IVs. They were so dehydrated.
That's a tough race.
Again, that was interesting, because that was volunteers that come from California who are riding the course on Vespas. These are just professionals in their own world in the mainland. And there they are, picking these guys up, calling for help. These aren't medics, but they just jumped in, and it's so cool.
So each year we do our final reports for the county and for the Hawaii Tourism Authority. And following the formula that we were required to use, as I had mentioned earlier, in addition to the first 5 years, this year, our total direct economic impact has been well beyond $15 million here on Kauai. Well, and I got an email day before yesterday from a woman that was here again this year. I wasn't aware she was here, but she was here 2 or 3 years ago and completed her 500th marathon. And she's only been running, I forget, I ran these figures a couple years ago, but she was having to average like 24 marathons a year to get where she was from the time she started running to her 500th. And I don't know what number she's on now, but she said next year she's targeting to be at 600 when she returns to Kauai Marathon, because out of 500 plus marathons, this is her favorite.
Hi, my name is Daryl Guyman. I'm from Portland, Oregon. We heard about this marathon. We were searching websites to try to find marathons in Hawaii. We wanted to run one here. We love Kauai. This is where we stay. This is our We call our home away from home. Highly recommend this race. So well supported, very well organized. Everybody out there super friendly. People along the way cheering you along. I can't recommend any other marathon over this one. This thing is just phenomenal. You have to do this marathon.
I am Katarina Yee. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I came to Hawaii for my friend's wedding, and one of their friends emailed me and said, "Hey, do you want to run a half marathon in Kauai?" And I said, "That's crazy. Okay." This marathon is unbelievable. This is my first half marathon, and I couldn't think of a better place to do it. It's just crazy beautiful the entire way. I was really nervous about the elevation at the beginning, but it all went by so quickly because the scenery is so beautiful, the people are so supportive. It's a great place to run a half marathon. I can't wait to come back next year.
Good morning. My name's Michael. This is Joanne. I'm from Park City, Utah. She's from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I met the race organizer, Jeff Sakini, on an airplane 3 years ago, and he challenged me to come out and run. So here we are, the second year we've done it. The people of Kauai are fantastic. They were out as early as we were this morning, cheering us on, giving us water. It was awesome. Thanks to all the sponsors.
Aloha.
Your turn to talk.
It was fabulous, and it made the hills easy, and seeing the ocean as we came down was just fantastic. So we'll be back. It was awesome.
Running in paradise. Doesn't get any better, Dickie. Okay, here's the story. I get on an airplane 3 years ago, sit down next to a guy. We're wrestling over the armrest, and guess who it is? Kauai Marathon race organizer Jeff Sakini. We start chatting, we have a couple drinks. He asked me if I run. I said no. The Army made me run for 27 years, so I run as less often as possible. So he challenged me, basically told me, man up, take a man pill, and come on out and run my race. So this is my second year, and the guy is a wonderfully decent human being, horribly competent race organizer, and along with all the sponsors, the mayor of Lahui, the people of Kauai and Hawaii as a whole, we'd like to say mahalo to all of you folks because it's just running in paradise.
My name's Amanda Wheat. I'm from Washington, D.C. The reason I came here is because my beautiful mother turned 50 years old and decided she wanted to do a half marathon. So my brother and I said, why don't we do one in Kauai? There's a beautiful one there. And so the three of us came out here to run. This is my first time racing in Hawaii. I was very pleasantly surprised by the finish line, which was downhill, unlike the rest of that insane course. Downhill along the ocean, it was awesome. It was gorgeous. Couldn't have asked for a better finish. And the tree tunnel. The tree tunnel was amazing. Yeah, hills not so much. They were hard.
Okay, my name is Harry Flint. I'm from Calgary, Alberta. I joined Team Diabetes in 2005. We're the major fundraising arm of the Canadian Diabetes Association, and we raise money, and then we travel the world running marathons, half marathons, and we got a team of 88 people here, so we're quite proud of everybody. So it's a good group of people, friends for life. Like I said, I've been since 2005. A few people here that I've been on other runs with. Unfortunately, I couldn't run today, but I'll be back next year. We basically find out, we have our staff in Toronto, our head office, they search out places to go that are different, that are unique. And our coordinator found Kauai, and it's just an absolutely beautiful spot. I mean, we were in Honolulu a few years back, and it was just insanity. This is so nice. It's just laid back, it's quiet, small group of runners, which is going to grow every year, I'm sure. But no, you guys put on a great event here. And I mean, what can you say?
Is your organization hopefully planning to return back next year or soon thereafter?
We're already booked for next year. Already booked it for next year, and hopefully we'll have as big a team, but we never know. Registration just opened up for next year, but we'll be here.
On a personal note, can you let the viewing audience know earlier this morning the contingent of Canadians and 5 Americans sang "Oh Canada" for the standing crowd, room only.
Yeah.
What did that feel like to you?
That is great. I mean, anytime we can do that. I mean, obviously by our shirts, everybody knows we're in town, and just the fact that we got to sing "Oh Canada" for everybody is just, it makes you proud. It makes you proud. So we do this pretty much. Well, we try and do it everywhere we go. Get a big crowd together and we teach them the words.
Aloha, I'm Vivian. My friends call me Teddy. My last name is Murr. I'm from the Big Island, from Kona, and I live in Miami right now. I was in Hawaii and Honolulu for the Hawaii Tourism Authority conference. You know, we got to support the industry. It's one of the #1 economic driving forces here. But here on Kauai, when my brother and friend Dickie Chang told me about the marathon, there's no other place on this earth that captures the spirit of aloha. And for those that might not know it, it sounds a little cliche, but here on the Garden Isle, it is tangible, it is palpable. All of the aloha, from residents, volunteers, everyone involved with the organization, the charitable aspect, the environmental aspect, it's hard to describe in words, it's hard to articulate, but this is an event you don't want to miss. It's worth coming out to see, and I'll be back for sure.
And Vivian Teddy Murr, as an athlete, true story, interestingly, called you out of the blues and I said, you should run the marathon. And when you said, okay, shoots, I'll be there.
Shoots, brother.
I never think you was going to come.
Hey, you just got to say the word and I'm down with that. I'll be here. You know that, brother.
How was the route? How was the hospitality? What was as a first time, as an athlete, but a first time Kauai marathoner, what was your general impression?
Well, there's a few things that really stand out. Number one is the setup and the infrastructure. It is a really beautifully organized and supported run. Just when you feel like you're running a little low on gas or on energy, you get the vibes from either local people, the Hawaiian music, the live Hawaiian music, the keiki hula dancers along the course. Everyone smiling, everyone cheering. There was even a person holding a sign that said, "Run on, random runner." Everybody had, "Go Joe" or "Go Auntie." And for those of us that didn't have a sign, it was like high five, random runner, yeah, but there's a lot of joy. There's a lot of joy that permeates the air and the vibe here, and it's beautiful.
Feel the beauty of this sign up, down from the beaches to the highest mountain. Different people living as one, in harmony under the sun on the island. Middle of the sea.
Puakea Golf Course. Call for your tee times today.
If you just joined us, I'm here with Liz and, of course, Jeff Zucchini. One of the things that you talked about a little bit earlier and that might have just gone is how incredible is this? Because you made mention, nowadays when you travel inner island, it's $250, $300 round way. Right. Then you want to go to the Honolulu Marathon and you're paying $300 a room, whatever the fact of the matter is. Right. But for many local people, not to knock anybody, but conservatively, how cool is that if they're going to do one race the whole year, that it is the Kauai Marathon? And it's funny because every time I'm cruising around Kauai and I see a hat, a visor, a shirt, sister, you doing the marathon? They go, yeah. How many times have you done it? I mean, everybody kind of like just beams because I think for us less talented people, adrenaline can actually push you through much of the pain and suffering and desire just to finish.
Absolutely. A perfect case in point, I was speaking to Godwin Asaki earlier today, who is a banana grower just outside of Kapa'a, and he's not a runner. He actually finished the full marathon many, many times with slippers. So, you inspire things. This running thing and this event, I think, has inspired people that aren't considered to be quote-unquote runners, but what inspires them to set a goal. It inspires them to have something on the calendar that will keep them motivated, and it allows the community to come together to say, we're here for a good cause. And that cause is health, that cause is community, and that cause is charity.
And when you're doing the route, as we had chatted about, when you're doing the route and you're hearing everybody else's story, like everybody's talking story, because when you look around, somebody's different, or somebody's wearing something different, or somebody's dressed like crazy people dressed up like because they're all a sorority and they're a bunch of clowns or whoever they are. But there's a story from where they're coming from. They were childhood kids. They all went to college together or whatever it is. I mean, there's literally thousands of stories and everybody you come in next year, you come in next year, you come in next year. But you talk about the friendships, and the friendships go back deep with the hula halaus or the taiko drummers or the security. God bless the Kauai Police Department, the County of Kauai. But everybody kind of like goes deep because at the finish line, there's a lot of joy and jubilation.
Yeah.
And celebration of folks actually doing something. I mean, I don't care what kind of shape you're in when you're out walking and or jogging and or running, whether you're elite or a complete novice, there's pain involved in going 13 miles. And it takes some distraction, some masking of that pain. And unfortunately, a lot of story is talked out on the route with folks that are trying to keep their minds off the pain they're enduring while they're out on the course.
Well, I tell you one thing, and thank you for making mention a little bit earlier, but I would like to specifically say thank you for the people of Kauai. Thank you for those along the route at Omao, because everybody's having their Sunday brunch. Yeah. They're all talking story. They're all providing water. Yeah. It's not an official aid station, but they're providing water or love or support, because when you're running through, they got their water hoses shooting. They're all yelling. I mean, one of the most, I don't want to say intimidating, but when you're finally coming up toward Kukui'ula, up that last hill, and they're telling me, come on, brother, only 2 more miles, only 1 more mile, knowing that we're dying. Exactly. But that's the kind of inspiration that you need to cross the finish line. And once you get down at Ho'onani and you're looking at the water and the break wall and everybody's over there cheering, and the Kapaa High School cheerleaders, Kauai High School, Waimea, albeit, and everybody's cheering for you, and you see the clock ticking, and Ron Wiley is calling your name.
It's pretty special. You know, Dickie, the one thing I want to make sure I throw a shout out to as well, not only the local community that's affected by the race route. You know, we try to do it minimally invasive with people on Sunday mornings. We recognize we've inconvenienced, some of the community trying to get to work on time. And, my thing is, I apologize for that, but at the same time, it's 1 out of 52 Sundays. And I think there's so much good involved with this that I appreciate everybody's patience. But more than that, I think it would be a missed opportunity not to thank those volunteers. We have 600 volunteers on race day that are here on island. They're either a business, they're a charity, or they care about their community. But we've had 600 people manning aid stations, handing water out, picking up trash, handing out ice towels. We couldn't do this event without the 600 people that are coming to help work it. And then we've got all the folks along the course that are actually cheering everybody on. And I can tell you as a runner myself, nothing motivates you more than to have somebody clapping or giving you words of encouragement when you're in that kind of pain. So it's the volunteers, it's the community, it's the folks that come in, that have been here, the 60 to 80 that we bring in. But this event is such a community-based event in so many ways that I just want to thank the people of Kauai for embracing it and recognizing it for what it is.
Jeff Sakini, that's very, very well said. And I appreciate you saying that because in my experience, people are patient, but I think they look at it as pretty cool because if they're waiting in line, like, as we merge one lane and one lane, they're probably looking for somebody because everybody knows everybody. Because in my opinion, everybody's like, they wanted to shaka guys or toot the horn. I mean, everybody's just like, I don't want to say ni ele, but they know other people that are running. So I would honestly imagine some people will say, well, I should be out of the tree tunnel in an hour and a half. And so then they're driving just to give them the aloha because nobody's, from my 3 years, this will be the 4th, nobody's upset or really pissed off. I mean, we're on Kauai and we got an event that we need to support. Liz, would you like to say a couple of words of aloha and mahalos to the great folks here on the Garden Island, Kauai?
Well, I would just have to reiterate what Jeff said. Thank you for all the support. And you couldn't even begin to name. I feel like when you start naming names, you leave too many out. Bob, Robin, couldn't do it without him. But like Jeff said, the no names that are out there the whole morning. And a lot of them have to be out there way before they see a runner. So they have to be set up and ready to go. And I just can't thank people enough because I know the work that goes into it.
Well, and as you mentioned a little bit earlier, 2:30 is pretty much a lot of the norm because sleep is not on the agenda on Friday or Saturday night. Jeff, to both of you, Liz and Jeff, Thank you for the concept. Thank you for what you do for this island of Kauai. And thank you for bringing health and fitness in the forefront. And more importantly, thank you for allowing us to have this in our own backyard, because I personally think that this is something everybody kind of like wanted to do, or if I'm going to do it one time, may as well do it on Kauai. And now they have the opportunity to do that with food, fun, fruits, and the finish line, to aloha each other.
Absolutely. And I would just say, this is not a Jeff and Liz event. This is from day one, the motivation has been pure, and we've established this event in perpetuity, we hope, so that, when we're long gone, this event's going to continue, and the community, the volunteers, and everybody that's involved will continue this event. And that would be the greatest blessing for my wife and I, is to see this event continue, because it's so good from an economic impact at a slow time. It's good for charity, and again, to reiterate, it's so good for the people here that are running it. I mean, not only folks that are, again, volunteering, but we've got 1,300 people from the state of Hawaii in to run this event this year. It's almost half the field, and that's a really big deal, as you alluded to earlier, about having folks being able to not get on a plane to run a professional event.
Beautiful. Well, mahalo to the both of you folks.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks,
I know sleep is not going to be on the agenda, but if you want to participate in the 10th annual Kauai Marathon, you got a few short days and a few short hours to crash course and plan to finish the 13.1 miles. Or if you're really crazy, you can do the 26.2 miles. Right. We'll have to take a short break, but don't go away. Liz and Brother Jeff will be right back. Voila.
Moving till the first rays are done. Keeping it on till the day stays strong. Rolling till the nighttime blazes on. All along I keep singing my song. I say this phase is always. Sometimes I get so crazy, but just know that I'll always stay. Cause you're my light through the haze. It's time for a champion. Soothe the soul of the land. Bend the heart from the sea and sand till the sun comes up again. For a champion, soothe the soul of the land, and the heart from the sea and the sand, till the sun comes up again. Explore the sky, keep your eye on the prize, forever in my mind, be my golden sunshine. It's waiting in your mind, so push them clouds aside, forever by my side, you're my golden sunshine. Sunset, I let myself down the ground beneath my feet gone. No more words with it to speak. On that day my song was born. Never meant to leave you all alone. Said I'd be a shelter from the storm. Now your clothes have all been torn. Kingdom sacked, attacked and dethroned. It's time for a champion. Soothe the soul of the land. Bend the heart from the sea and sand till the sun comes up again. For a champion, soothe the soul of the land, and the heart from the sea and the sand, till the sun comes up again. Explore the sky, keep your eye on the prize, forever in my mind, be my golden sunshine. It's waiting in your mind, so push them clouds aside, forever by my side, in my golden sunshine. It's the way of the world.
Hi, I'm Shannon Iona and welcome to King Auto Center, your premier auto center on the island of Kauai. We are the Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Honda dealership on the island. We have many vehicles to choose from. Some 2018s, some 2019s. I myself drive a Dodge Ram. I like the ride, I like its power, 4x4 capabilities, everything that you would need in a truck, Once again, I'm Shannon Iona. Come see me here at King Auto Center. We're your lifetime friends.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Walaau. As always, we'd like to sincerely thank each and every one of you for watching Walaau and making us a part of your weekend and week out festivities here on our beautiful Garden Island, Kauai. Don't forget now, if you can cool with the sponsors, obviously it is our sponsors that make Walaau possible week in and week out. We are located on Spectrum Cable 128, channel 128, every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 7 a.m., 12 noon, 4 p.m., 7 p.m., 12 midnight. And of course, you can always catch us when we post it on Walaau Kauai. That, of course, is YouTube. It is time for us to heli on. As always, let's all continue to take care of our families, our friends, the neighbors, the Malihini and the Aina, and we'll check you out next week. Only be safe, Kauai, on Walaau.
Walaau, 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 Walaau.